Welcome back, mystery enthusiasts. I'm Jay Golemon, your guide to the unexplained and bizarre. Tonight, we delve into the dark corners of West Georgia to uncover three of the most spine-chilling cryptids ever reported. Are you ready to face the unknown? First on our list is the elusive Altamaha-ha, a serpent-like creature said to inhabit the murky waters of the Chattahoochee River. Eyewitness accounts describe it as a massive snake-like beast, with some reports suggesting that it has flippers and a crocodilian head. Countless cases and police reports have been filed against the monster for bites and boat crashes that it has inflicted upon people. Unfortunately, all of them have been dismissed and chalked up to black bass attacks. Many speculate that the police may be in on it too, due to some theories stating that the Altamaha is a sort of hyper-intelligent species that can control lesser species like humans with their mind in order to make them do their bidding. This theory is further supported by victims reporting blacking out near the Chattahoochee River and waking up miles down the river. What exactly is going on here? Is this monster a prehistoric survivor, or something even more sinister? Tell me in the comments, please. Next, we venture deep into the Whispering Woods. No, not the one that Kirby and his friends live in. The West Georgia city of Waco. Locals tell tales of the Waco Woods Walker, a shadowy figure that haunts these forests. Witnesses describe it as a tall humanoid but with unnerving elongated limbs and glowing eyes. Some say its presence is marked by a sudden drop in temperature and a feeling of intense dread. Many speculate that this boogeyman is just a fiction derived from the tales of the native Tallapoosa's. However, there are a few incidents that suggest that the creature is real. The most significant of these reports comes from a case in 2009 in which a group of German forest explorers made a trip to Waco to explore their forbidden forests. The trip would go supposedly well. Many witnesses would report seeing the German crew that week biking through the streets of Waco and enjoying the local shops and bars. Many at the local hostel would report that the crew was in good spirits up until their disappearance. The crew had told their dorm mates that they would be back late that day, around 2 a.m., and would sleep in and meet everyone for brunch. When morning came, their dorm mates had realized that their crew never made it back, and made their way out to the forest to check on them, hoping that maybe the crew did make it back and just got caught up in other plans. What their dorm mates would find would be chilling. Upon arriving to the forest, the only car in the parking lot was that of the German crew. Their dorm mates felt a rising anxiety, as this would mean that the crew had been in the forest since 7 p.m. last night, and it was now past noon the next day. The crew was experienced, but the supplies they brought were only for a short hike, not an overnight stay. Preparing for the worst, their dorm mates contacted local law enforcement to check the forest for the German crew. What they would find would make them sick to their stomachs. The bodies of the crew were propped up amongst the branches of the trees in a gruesome and offensive way. Their radial bones had been ripped away from their ulnar and humeral bones in their arms, giving them creepy long-armed appearances, with sticks from the trees making makeshift fingers out of their vulgar ripped-up arms. All of their faces were so bruised and deformed that they were nearly unrecognizable. Their chests had been torn open, bones jutting forward with all of their internal meat hanging out. Many of them did not survive. The most disturbing detail, however, is that TV interviews with the police at the scene and press conferences afterwards revealed that the bodies were thoroughly frozen and showed signs of severe hypothermia. As it was the middle of summer, the lows that night could not have justified the state that their bodies were found in. The case was never closed, and many of the officers on the case were let go or fired. None were available for comment. One of the survivors had stated in an interview that she was not sure what happened, but remembers feeling scared and seeing a shadowy creature with glowing eyes before waking up like that. We were able to get some info, however, from a Tallapoosa descendant. He claims, "Many here know that the Woods Walker was clearly behind that case. Some say that the case will never be closed because the police refuse to admit the supernatural exists, as it would call their power into question. However, I and many others in Waco believe that the case has not been closed because the Woods Walker holds a high position in local government." Our final cryptid takes us to the outskirts of Carrollton. Here, Sightings of a bizarre wolf-like creature have stirred fear among the locals. With its oversized, hulking frame and glowing red eyes, this creature is said to emit a terrifying howl that echoes through the night. Is this a case of mistaken identity, or is there a real beast lurking in Carrollton? Cases of giant animal-like beasts are quickly discounted by skeptics as being simple cases of mistaken identity. Many are surprised by the size of wolves when they are unlucky enough to encounter one in the dead of night. But even if there are logical explanations and theories, it doesn't mean that we shouldn't discuss the twisted happenings and the stories around it. There are many reports of the Carrollton creature, but the most detailed comes from an account of an attack in 2003. Chartreuse Wilkinson was walking her Dalmatian at night when she spotted what she thought to be a deer that had been hit by a car, dangling off a bridge. As Miss Wilkinson passed the corpse, she covered her face with her shirt to shield her from the angry flies buzzing around. Her dog began barking aggressively, something that she claims was completely out of character for her normally chill Dalmatian. Her dog would jerk forward to free itself from her grip, causing Miss Wilkinson to faceplant into the corpse. Her dog would charge off into the woods without her, barking the entire way. Upon getting up and wiping the meat off of her, Miss Wilkinson would realize a severed human hand was stuck to her hair and scream and run away in the direction of her dog. Upon arriving at the entrance to the woods her dog ran into, she would find her dog, or well, just the back half of it, and what she would describe as a pit bull/wolf type creature the size of a bear, with glowing red eyes and glowing red scars across its body. The animal would chew and swallow the remains of her dog before roaring like a lion at her to get back. Miss Wilkinson would then get hit by a car and fall into a coma for 3 months. She was not able to recount this story until a year later. It stands as the greatest piece of evidence towards the Carrollton creature, as the mangled body and half of her dog were found. Well, partly true. Local law enforcement claim that the body Miss Wilkinson fell into was in fact a deer, and cite her history of drug abuse as a factor in her view of the events that transpired that day. Miss Wilkinson, on the other hand, argues that her history of marijuana use has no effect on her ability to tell a human corpse from an animal corpse. Some discount the claim still, claiming that all stories of the Carrollton creature can be attributed to hungry wolves, except of course for this one, which must have been a bear, lol. Some other theories claim that the Carrollton creature might be a breed of pit bull/wolf hybrids that have been purposefully bred and released out into the woods to terrorize people. What do you think? Were the police in on this? Some think that the car that hit Miss Wilkinson might have also been in on it. I think that too. These tales of the Altamaha, the Whispering Woods Walker, and the Carrollton creature are just a glimpse into the mysterious cryptids of West Georgia, but the question remains, are these creatures of folklore, or is there truth to the terror? Thank you for joining me on this eerie journey. If you've enjoyed exploring these cryptic tales, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more chilling adventures. Until next time, keep your eyes open and your mind curious. This is Jay Golemon, signing off from the dark side of West Georgia.